Yankee Stadium, the house that Ruth built, home of the Bronx Bombers, the team of the century, and a perfect home base for our corner table lunch with Yankee manager Joe Torre.
The Brooklyn-born Joe Torre is a man who earned his success. After waiting more than 3 decades as both a player and a manager for other major league teams, Joe took over the helm of the struggling New York Yankees and led them to 3 World Series championships.
This stuff never gets old. I want to let you know that. This one seemed even better, and I think, and we're not trying to downplay what happened in 1996, but I think you appreciate it more every time you do it because you know how tough it is to get here.
We caught up with Joe on his home turf, where his dining choice is just as unprecedented as his career.
Hello, Carlo.
Joe chose to dine inside Yankee Stadium on food from not one but 2 of his favorite restaurants. Chefs from Fili Ponti in New York City and his hometown favorite La Reserva in Larchmont, New York, arrived at the stadium early in the day to create some Italian favorites to tempt the manager of the century.
Well, Joe Torre, a little bit of a meal in the house that Ruth built, huh?
Yeah, he never ate here, probably.
We probably had a couple hot dogs.
Other than Cokes and hot dogs.
Our first course selections included a tricolora salad, rigatoni with fresh cannellini beans, and a fava bean salad.
Well, it may be the house that Ruth built, but you're certainly doing a good job managing it, and thank you. We got 2 restaurants. We've never had a guest really request 2 restaurants.
And I'm limited to 2, unfortunately.
Fili Ponti and La Reserva. Food is good. You're a man with a passion for food, right?
I really enjoy sitting down and having a meal. I think it started, Bill, back, you know, when I'd lost a whole bunch of weight back in 1970. And
you went on the Stillman diet?
On the, which is not probably not safe. Don't even try it anymore.
That's what, the water, all water and protein, right?
Water and protein. You lose the weight by running back and forth to the bathroom. That's where
Can
the weight
I show you
comes
something here
Yes.
and a little pepper for you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so you developed a passion. You were overweight.
I was overweight, and I was turning 30, so I knew that if I'm going to play baseball for any period of time, I'd better get down. I wound up losing 20 pounds in a short period of time, about 3 weeks. And I think back now about the steaks and the hard-boiled eggs and the water and
all that cholesterol that you were eating to lose the weight.
But I felt fine. I felt fine, and you know, since then I've learned a little bit more about eating and not eating and whatever.
Hey, listen.
But this stuff is great.
Hey, Joe, how about food superstitions? I mean, baseball, like all sports, is a sport with some superstitions around it. Do you have food superstitions?
I did for a couple of years.
What were they?
Well, I go into La Reserva. I happened to do this one day starting the postseason a couple of years ago.
Right.
And I ordered my meal, and I didn't stay with the same meal. This was before I had, you know, the prostate cancer, where I've all of a sudden I'm on this real strict diet now. And I eat, and then we won. And then the next day I said, let's try it again. We come back, we eat, and we win. And then we go on the road, come back home, and we're still in good shape. We eat and we win, and all of a sudden he's not open for lunch on Saturdays. And I said, Carlo, what can you do about this? So he comes in early, and we eat, and we win again. So that was I guess, the only superstition.
How about players?
Well, Carlo was open for us today, and he brought the Polo Joe Torre, which is chicken with potatoes, sausage, and cherry peppers.
So, Joe, tell us about this, because this is
and you look at it, and it's wonderful. It's angry lobster.
Why is it angry, Joe?
Well, it's angry because it's got a lot of garlic in it. It's got oil. Look at the garlic. These are all garlic slivers in here, and it is absolutely wonderful.
Well, you know, if you
we dropped by Fili Ponti to see exactly how that angry lobster is made. And all you have to do is look around to see that Joe Torre is a beloved guest of the restaurant, which is a place accustomed to catering to celebrities. Chef Nick Bacimoso prepared Torre's favorite, the angry lobster. First, he cuts a 3.5-pound lobster into pieces. He then seasons it with a kosher salt and cracked black pepper and coats it in a Wondra flour.
Wondra flour is a little finer than all-purpose flour, which is why we use it.
He then puts the lobster in a heated pan with a mixture of canola and extra virgin olive oil. Once the lobster meat is browned, he places the pan in a 450-degree oven for about 15 minutes. Finally, he adds a generous amount of sliced garlic, basil, parsley,
and some red pepper flakes, which makes it angry.
He serves the lobster on a large platter.
This one's for you, Joe.
Back at Yankee Stadium, Joe talked about dining in the old days.
Let's talk about some of the players you've worked with and you know who really love fine food and wine. Who comes to mind?
Tim McCarver.
Really?
Yeah. Tim McCarver, Steve Carlton. Those two come to mind. That's my playing days with the St. Louis Cardinals. And we used to go out en masse as a team, and we'd have the white wine, and then we'd have the red wine, and we'd have, you know, the brandy with a cigar. I mean, it was gourmet all the time.
The shank of youth, too. There you go.
Day games in Chicago would open up that night for our gourmet dinners. But Tim and I have gone out, like you and I are sitting here, and we would do the whole 9 yards. I mean, we would order from appetizer to dessert and just, you know, it'd be like a Roman orgy.
The good life, huh?
It was wonderful.
Is it still fun like it was when you were a kid now?
It is, Bill, because, you know, you go through your whole career, 30-something years, and you never got to, you got the postseason play as a manager in '82, but never as a player. You always imagined what it was like, but you could never, you never experienced it. And then to have it happen in your hometown, and not only once, but actually 4 years in a row we were in postseason play. And then to win the World Series 3 out of 4 years, if that isn't fun, nothing is. I mean, this is something I dreamed about my whole life.
Fans fill up in the stands, the players warm up on the field. Derek Jeter and Tino Martinez share some of their food philosophies.
Tino, do you have any food superstitions? You know, there's a lot of superstitions in all sports.
Not really superstitions, but before the games, I prefer to eat either chicken or pasta. It's not really a superstition, it just digests better and I feel better when the game starts.
Chicken parmesan and penne alla vodka. I'm a big Italian food fan.
You like Italian food? When you go to a ballpark and see a game over the years, what's been your favorite ballpark food?
Oh, obviously the hot dog. Whether it's a baseball game or a football game, a nice, great hot dog at a game is the best.
I eat a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Now, how about manager Joe Torre? Can you tell us anything about any secret eating habits of Joe Torre?
I don't know if he's got really secret eating habits, but I know he needs a nice bottle of wine to go along with it.
Well, Joe Torre, it's been a wonderful meal time for a little healthy fruit dessert.
I can do this.
You can, so can I.
I can do this.
How does this compare to what we've had today, ballpark food?
Well, ballpark food is doesn't take as much time to prepare. I'm a pretzel guy.
You love pretzels?
I love those soft pretzels and they're
mustard?
warm. Sometimes mustard, depending how dry they are.
Yeah.
You know, some of the best ones probably in Oakland, Baltimore. Some good pretzels for me. Right, that's my fare right before the game. Right after batting practice, I have a pretzel. My players make fun of me, of course, all the time. They always do.
I'd like to discuss family health. I mean, in your family, you know, your father died at a relatively young age of a heart attack. Mm-hmm. Your brother Frank had a heart transplant in the same year that your brother Rocco died of a heart attack. Does this instill a fear in you? Have you really modified your life accordingly, or do you just live it the best you can?
Well, no, I think you have to be aware of that. And being aware, and I think it helps you make adjustments in your life, Bill. When I realized I had heart disease in the family, I went into this low-fat diet, exercise, because I work out 5-6 days a week. And I feel good, and I low-fat and the whole 9 yards. In fact, when I was going to have a health problem, I thought it was going to be heart-related. And then all of a sudden, you know, I got diagnosed with prostate cancer, and it sort of blindsided me. But you realize that the diet that's good for heart disease is also good for, you know, trying to prevent cancer, low fat and you know, a lot of fruits and vegetables and stuff like that.
When you had that diagnosis, prostate cancer diagnosis, obviously you knew you were going to get the best medical treatment. How did you deal with the fear?
Oh, I was scared to death. I mean, I think I lost 11 pounds, and then once you make up your mind how you're going to attack this thing, then you start settling into trusting other people. And you know, since that time and since my rehab and getting back to work, which was a big part of it.
You love your work.
And it keeps me busy, and you know, you don't have a chance to sit around and think about yourself.
Well, you're making it work, but you're still enjoying food. You're
Yes.
not really feeling like you're sacrificing a
I
lot.
still enjoy sitting down, having some red wine, a meal, whether it be pasta, because I can eat my pasta, and I can eat my fish, and it tastes wonderful.
Well, there's a message for people who are afraid of making a healthy adjustment that won't
And plus, you can cheat once in a while. It's okay.
Cheating is fun. Absolutely. Except on the field, right?
Well, if you get away with it, it's okay.
What do you want your legacy to be, Joe? I mean, here you are, a kid who grew up. You've achieved everything. You've been to the mountain, literally. How do you want Joe Torre to be remembered?
Well, I think I want to be respected by my peers. It's somebody who was honest, worked hard, and persevered. And I think our ball club has been a microcosm of that.
Any special words? I mean, on each World Series ring, there's a couple of special words that go on the ring. Are there a couple of special words you'd like to be associated with Joe Torre as a legacy?
Well, I think trust, determination, and what's going to be on the ring for the 1999 club is fortitude.